Happy Tuesday, everybody. It is time for another episode of Tech Tuesday. Took a little bit of a hiatus for a week, but now we are back on episode 6. Today, I want to talk a little bit with you about formative assessment. Formative assessment we visited before when we talked about Socrative, and I kind of just briefly touched on Kahoot and Quizizz. Today, I want to spend a little bit more intentional time on Quizizz as a formative assessment tool. We are all working hard out there in our classrooms, and we're doing an awesome job of teaching and learning with our students. And this is going to be a tool that helps us be even better and help them understand even more what they know and what they don't know. So let's dive in and take a look at what we are going to explore with this tool known as Quizizz. What I want to think about for our session and time today is explore this formative assessment tool known as Quizizz and also compare the power and really the fun too of Quizizz to the fun of Kahoot. Kahoot is fun, it's got music, it's engaging, and kids love it, they're used to it. But Quizizz takes Kahoot and jumps it up to the next level. So let's take a look at that. And then also, as we're trying to do every week, challenge the understanding that technology is not a hindrance in the classroom, but it is if we don't use it in a useful and productive way. We can use technology to manage the learning environment and make it more productive. And these are some of the tools that we can use. And that's why I wanted to highlight Quizizz and all of these other tools in Tech Tuesday. So the burning question is, well, hey, what is this tool Quizizz? I've only heard of Kahoot. Well, if we take a look at Quizizz, this is directly from their website. You've got avatars, for students. You've got leaderboards, themes, music, memes. Kahoot doesn't have memes. But these are things that are fun and engaging for all levels of students. You can create the quizzes yourself. You can upload the information. You can borrow quizzes that have already been created. You get awesome data, and this is a key part of it. And it works on every web-enabled device. So you can use the app. On student devices, you can use a web browser, you can use the Chrome plugin, you can do all kinds of different things and access this in a whole lot of different ways. So you can create a quiz yourself or search for them, like I said. You can assign the quiz for homework, or you can do it as an in-class activity, much like we're used to with Kahoot. You can play the game together in class, or students can go at their own pace. So you can make it a class competition, or you can just make it a self-paced formative assessment that you do with students. And the key part here for me, and I think the key part for us, is the ability to get solid data to analyze the results that we're getting in our checks for understanding and our formative assessment with students. So this is a powerful tool, and I firmly believe that it is more powerful than Kahoot for use in our classroom. So how do they compare? Well, with Kahoot, many of you know, the computer that you're using is the host, and then it uses, by connecting to a projector, it displays the questions that the students need to answer. And then the players, the students, are clicking on pictures and colors on their device. There's no answer in front of them, and the question isn't in front of them. It's just they've got to look up at the screen, and then they've got to look at their device, and they've got to pick the right one. And so we've got some transfer problems with that in my mind. Quizizz, the host computer, is used to monitor real-time results. So you don't project the image. You could project the image if you wanted to, but the players have all of the information that they need on their device. So on their computer screen, on their phone, on their iPad, whatever it is, and they've got the question, maybe an image with the question. They've got the answer choices that they can read and click those. And you as a teacher then are monitoring their results. That's what we should be doing. We should be monitoring their results and not waiting for the timer to go off. We should be monitoring how many students are getting this question wrong. What choice are they choosing? And should they be able to explain that? How can you reteach that information? We don't get that with Kahoot. You do get that with Quizizz. So I firmly believe there's a lot more power for us as teachers in using Quizizz. Now that we've got some information about Quizizz, let's take a look at what that looks like in creating our quiz and what it looks like on the platform. So, see you in the next transition. We're now going to look at how we can create a quiz in Quizizz Once we've gotten through the point of creating an account using our district credentials, our Google password, or Google logins, that becomes a lot easier now because it associates that account with what we already use, and we can just dive right in and get started. So today is the, what would it be, 57th anniversary of the Kennedy-Nixon debate from 1960, where for many people in the political world, it changed the game. The first televised presidential debate really changed the game. So we're going to make a quiz in honor of that, or at least show you how to do that. So once you get into the create quiz portion, we are going to enter our info so you can create an image that maybe kind of sparks a thought with students in their mind, or more importantly, helps you organize things. So we create our title, make it public or private. So public means that anybody can log in to Quizizz and see that quiz and use it. It doesn't take your data away. It doesn't populate with their data into your account, but it allows them to use that. And in a lot of ways, we have an opportunity to borrow from other teachers too. So once we've created that information, I had inactivity, so we're going to reload and log in, and now we're back. And so now we are going to type our question. So the first question, we can add an image, just like we did before. And so I've picked an image on here that was calm and assurance. And so we can upload that image. And now our question might be, which candidate looks more relaxed and comfortable? And let's say we've got our two options here, Kennedy and Nixon. And we can then toggle the choice that is correct, and we can add 4 options, up to 4 options, just like Kahoot, you got 4 options. But now we've got our first question, okay? And so you can add another question along the way. Let's take a look at that, and we'll add that on here. We have got our second question. According to radio listeners, who won the debate? You can see over here, you have a question preview of what that's going to look like for students. And now we can finish this quiz. So if we finish that quiz, now it's going to give us an opportunity to select, which grades do we want to kind of categorize this in, what subjects do we want to categorize this in, and we finish and we create quiz. So there's some other different things we can put on here. Depending on your topic, you can tag those kinds of things so that they can categorize that for us because we've made it public. So now here's our platform, and you can see that this is our particular quiz. We've categorized it this way. There's 2 questions that we want to ask, and we can share this quiz. We can share this quiz with teachers at our school, especially maybe even within our PLCs. So we could send it via email. We could get a shareable link, or we could share them with users that are already in our school. So we've got a few, but the more we get on Quizizz, the easier this is going to become as a tool for sharing. So we're going to get out of this, but now you can either play this game live. So if we hit play live, we have some options. We can shuffle the order of the questions for students, shuffle the answer options, show the answers, show a quiz review. If we want to keep them in the same order, this is going to give us an opportunity to set that up for our class. And now it is a very simple portal, just like Kahoot. You're going to ask students to go to join.quizizz.com and enter the code. This is the way it would look as a student. So we've entered the classroom. You can see here's the phone. We're going to click proceed. Student would enter their name, and we're going to join the game. And so this gives us a fake little avatar, and now we are ready to start. So I'm going to click Start Game as the teacher. It gives us the countdown. You can see on the left side of the screen that which the students are going to see. that which you're going to see, and then that which the students are going to see. So we've started this game, and on my device, it is ready to go. And so now, which candidate looks more relaxed and comfortable? You've got that countdown timer on top, and notice it's the same thing as Kahoot. We've got points versus each other, but also points in terms of how we are performing against the time. It's got little fun memes that get put up there. I will point out that you can add your own memes. You can create class memes. But I want you to see here, we're going to exit this game. That's how a student would exit the game on their phone. But if you take a look here, now we can see the total responses. We can see total number correct, how students performed individually, and the neat part is now we can export these results. And what they do then is create an Excel spreadsheet, which then gives us an opportunity to see how all of our students did. This is just kind of the global data in terms of our class in particular. But then you can look at the players and you can see how each player did. The nice thing about our system is it integrates with Google and Google Classroom. So if you assign this as a homework assignment, self-paced quiz, then it categorizes those answers into Google Classroom. But this also collects usernames and ID numbers of students as they're participating. So you've got an opportunity then to do some formative assessment and data collection to share with PLCs, to share with teachers in your department, to share with parents, and to use as that formative assessment. So that's kind of what it looks like in terms of this particular quiz and how it would look on a student machine and how it would look for the teacher. But that is Quizizz Live. We're going to walk through some of those report things and other options like Google Classroom here in a moment. Now in the portal area and back of the main menu for Quizizz, I just want to walk you through some of the pieces. You'll see that we just did a quiz, the Kennedy-Nixon quiz. The other thing that we can do is if we are on the search, this is where we can search quizzes that maybe already have been created. If we're looking at Nixon, there's quizzes about all kinds of topics that have been made public. Again, here's your create quiz button that we get back to before we were there before. And the other things that I do want to show you on this menu is, here you can go to My Quizzes, all of them that have been created. But the neat thing is create a collection. And so here you can create a collection for units. You can create a collection for topics or courses. But it really allows us to organize those things in a very, very user-friendly way. We can then look at reports. And if we look at reports, this is where we can get a lot of information about our student performance. And if data and data points and improvement is one of our goals, as it should be, then we've got an opportunity to do that. So the quiz that we just took, if we look in the reports, we can see players, we were 100% accurate. You can actually email this result to a parent. I don't think you can do that in Kahoot. It's much more linked together with Quizizz than it is on Kahoot. You can take question by question, and you can see how did people perform. The unattempted, how many people said Kennedy, how many said Nixon. Think about this if you assign this as a homework piece in your Google Classroom before they come to class. You can see how many people got the information as they walk in the door. Or alternately as a review after you've taught the material during the day. How did kids do? And then we can kind of see an overview, of how students were doing by question, and that gives us more of a global perspective. So there are a lot of powerful tools. You can print this information. You can download this information. When you download it, it downloads it as a CSV file like we saw before, and it gives you what we saw before after we did that on the screen. If you print out this information, it's going to print out as a PDF each question by question, and it's going to give you some information on what questions were asked. So there's a lot of ways that we can use this tool that hopefully helps us give more of a perspective on what students are learning and how we can help them learn even more. So let's kind of review what we looked at and some of the pieces that are highlights for me for Quizizz versus Kahoot, and then we can get out there and start making some of these things for our students. I hope you can see how powerful this tool really is for use in our classrooms. What I really love about Quizizz that I don't think Kahoot offers anywhere near the ability to do these things. We have Google Classroom integration. We can actually maybe even create the quiz in an Excel spreadsheet, pretty easy to do, and then import it directly. You can assign the quiz for homework to either do in Google Classroom or outside of Google Classroom. You don't have to be using Google Classroom to use the homework feature. There's extensive reports for analysis of instruction and learning. We can use existing quizzes from the community or even share it among colleagues. We can organize the questions to keep those up and ready to go for the next time we use the unit. We can see the questions and answers on the device, and the students see that, and it's not just a color or shape for answer choices. We can see the progress of students in real time if we're doing a student-paced quiz, and it's just fun. There's music, there's avatars, there's those kinds of things. There's memes when you get the answer right or wrong, but it uses interesting and engaging tools to help us out and help us understand what we're learning and what we need to learn more of. So let's look at what we tried to do in this session. I wanted to explore that formative assessment tool Quizizz, and I think we can see there's a lot of options and a lot of things that we can be doing. Hopefully you can see that there's a lot more power and maybe even more fun when using Quizizz versus Kahoot. And again, remembering that technology is a friend, technology is a tool that we can use, and technology is a way for us to manage learning and know what students know and don't know. It isn't always a hindrance as we might think it is. So hopefully you've learned something today. Go out and try it, and as always, let me know if you have any questions. I am here to help. That's all for now. Have a great Tuesday.